Today I will show you how to use NANODROP 1000 spectrophotometer. For that I have NANODROP 1000 spectrophotometer which is connected with computer, and I have pipette here, DNA sample, chem wipes, pipette tips, tea buffer and distilled water. To begin, let me tell you something about NANODROP spectrophotometer. NANODROP spectrophotometer is an instrument that can measure the concentration and quality of nucleic acid such as DNA, RNA and protein. NANODROP spectrophotometer consists of different parts. So this part we call sampling arm, which we can open and close. So we can open the arm by lifting it up, and we can close it by lowering it down very gently. After opening the arm, we can see a very tiny hole-like structure here, and this structure we called pedestal, where we load our samples. And there is another tiny hole-like structure on the arm. Here there is very tiny hole-like structure, and that we called upper pedestal, and this pedestal is connected with light source, and this one we called lower pedestal, and it is connected with light detector. When we close the arm, then there is very small gap between upper and lower pedestal, where our sample stays and through which light can easily pass. To use NANODROP spectrophotometer, we need one software called NANODROP 1000 software, and I have already installed this software on my computer. Basically, the operation of NANODROP spectrophotometer involves 3 steps: initializing the machine, blanking the machine, and measuring the sample. I will discuss and demonstrate each of these steps in detail. First of all, we need to open the software. And before opening this software, make sure the USB is connected with computer and wire is plugged in the NANODROP spectrophotometer. So here you can see different options such as nucleic acid, proteins and label, Today I am going to measure DNA, which is nucleic acid. So I click nucleic acid. Now open the sampling arm and wipe the lower and upper pedestal with Kim wipes very gently. So to initialize nanospectrophotometer, pipette 1 microliter of distilled water and lower that water on lower pedestal. So I am using this pipette and I am going to pipette 1 microliter of distilled water. Then very gently load this water to lower pedestal. And after that, gently lower down the arm. And click OK. So you can see initializing the spectrophotometer. Then click blank. Now open the arm and wipe the pedestal gently using Kim wipes. Till now our machine got initialized. Now we need to blank the machine. For that, load 1 microliter of TE buffer to lower pedestal of NANODROP spectrophotometer. I am using TE buffer because my DNA samples were stored in TE buffer. So I am pipetting 1 microliter of TE buffer to the lower pedestal. Now gently close the arm, very gently. Then click measure. Here you can see like click, measure. Our machine got blank, and the last step is to measure our actual DNA sample. For that, open the nano spectrophotometer, then gently wipe the pedestal. I am going to measure DNA sample here. For that, now let me pipette 1 microliter of DNA sample. And load sample to the pedestal. Close the arm gently. Then we have to click measure. So the machine is making measurement of our DNA sample. Finally, we got our measurement. Here you can see wavelength and absorption, and here you can see a 260 measurement and a 280 measurement, and we see the ratio of a 260 by a 280, and this one is the concentration. So our DNA sample has concentration of almost 4000 nanogram per microliter, while the ratio of 8260 by 8280 is 1.8. So this ratio is kind of good, because the good DNA sample has a 260 by a 280 ratio from 1.8 to 1.9. When the ratio is less than 1.8, that means our sample is contaminated with protein. When the ratio is greater than 1.9, then the sample is contaminated with RNA. So our DNA sample has the ratio of 1.8, and this one is kind of good sample. So this is the brief procedure to use NANODROP 1000 spectrophotometer. After we're done, make sure to wipe the machine with Kim wipes.